With election season just 5 months away, voters are gearing up to decide who will serve the next 4 years as the top prosecutor in Charleston and Berkeley counties. David Osborne, a former law enforcement officer turned prosecutor, is in the race for the 9th Circuit Solicitor. And we're happy to have David joining us today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Taylor. Good morning.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, I was born in Charleston. I lived in the Liberty Homes housing projects until I was about 6 or 7, right down the road. They tore them down now. It's where the School of the Arts is. Then I moved out to Somerville, graduated from Somerville High School, became the first person on either side of my family to go to college. After I graduated from USC, I moved to New Orleans, started my law enforcement career with NOPD. I worked 5 years for NOPD. New Orleans is a fun town, kind of rough to raise kids, so we moved back home. I worked with the Charleston Police Department for 11 years, started with Chief Reuben Greenberg. I was in patrol, detective, and when I got promoted to sergeant, I was a detective sergeant of the Violent Crimes Unit. While doing that during the day, I went to the nighttime law school program at the Charleston School of Law, got my law degree, then was a prosecutor. I worked in the 9th Circuit for 7 years. Then I worked in the 1st Circuit, which is Dorchester, Calhoun, and Orangeburg, for 3 years. And when I announced that I would be running, I resigned, and I'm all in for solicitor.
Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to make that transition from law enforcement to becoming a prosecutor?
So here's what I've learned. If you want to help your community and you want to do good, become a police officer. You can really do a lot of good. If you really want to help your community, though, become a detective. And that's what I did. I was a detective, loved doing it, loved being a detective sergeant of the Violent Crimes Unit. But when you start trying cases, you see prosecutorial discretion, there's where you can really do a lot of good and you can really make a difference. So that's why I went to law school, and when I graduated, it wasn't easy to hang up the badge and start being a prosecutor. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and no regrets. Love it.
So what motivated you to now run for the 9th Circuit Solicitor?
Law enforcement. Law enforcement have been asking me now for a while to run. They don't like the trends. They don't like where it's going. And when you look at the numbers, they're right. We're headed in the wrong direction. The 9th Circuit right now, under its current leadership, quite frankly, is not doing their part, keeping our families and communities safe from violent crime. They're giving away way too many sweetheart plea deals and not trying enough murderers. And the proof is in the numbers. Coming out of COVID, over that 3-year period after COVID lockdowns ended, while I was a prosecutor in the 1st Circuit, I tried 23 murder warrants to conviction. The entire 9th Circuit, with almost 60 prosecutors at their disposal, having almost 300 murder warrants pending at one point, tried a grand total of 5. Mm-hmm. That, quite frankly, is hard to understand. It's inexcusable. I'm going to get in there, I'm going to stay in the fight with the victims, and we're going to try more murderers. And I believe that's going to have a ripple-down effect in our community. I think word's going to get around, it's going to help deter violence, and it's also going to help with the backlog.
Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about, too many plea deals and not trying enough murderers, do you think that's the most pressing issue in the terms of criminal justice that we're seeing in Charleston and Berkeley counties?
I think that certainly has an effect, and I think it probably is the most pressing issue. I mean, I can't help but my background influences the way that I see things. And I have been to the crime scenes. I haven't just seen the crime scene pictures, I've been to the scenes. And I've held the grieving mothers and the grandmothers, and that's the type of stuff you just don't forget. And so to me, when I'm seeing all these sweetheart plea deals for these murderers out there, that is the most pressing thing. We need to get in there, we need to try these cases and do justice for these victims. So yeah, I think that's absolutely the most pressing issue. Mm-hmm.
And now can you speak to what you think, with the experience that you have, how that will really change the 9th Circuit?
I have a unique background. I have worn a uniform and enforced the law on some of the most dangerous streets in our country. But I've also worn a suit, and I have gone toe-to-toe with some of the best defense attorneys in the courtroom successfully. So that background enables me to see criminal justice from all levels. And I think when I get in there, I'm going to refocus that office in holding violent criminals accountable.
How can we support you in your campaign?
You can obviously contribute. These campaigns take money to get the word out. You could go to my website, you can volunteer. And if you agree with me and you think we deserve change, spread the word. Get the word around. Follow me on social media. Most importantly, vote. Bring a friend.
Absolutely. Vote. And now osborneforsolicitor.com is where we can visit for more information.
Yes, ma'am.
David, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
We're back in 2 minutes.